Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Manticore. It's the Tier 10 British light tank. It's located on the south spawn of Siegfried Line, and it's under the command of Cross of St George. Now, this tank was originally called the Chimera 1955, but as Wargaming had already put a tank into the game with the name Chimera, the wrong tank, they had to change its name and they gave it a different name, the Manticore. Anyway, we've got a large number of replays featuring the Manticore for you, starting off with Cross of St George, and then moving on to the Baseman from Hell. Yes, and we'll be doing these one by one rather than doing them as double replays. So, yeah, game started, and he's gone to a bush out in the field to spot the enemy. He's armed with a 105mm gun, which is capable of doing 390 alpha and penetrating 248mm with standard ammo. You don't get many rounds. You only get 20, and he did get spotted there, so he has to pull out. He's got no choice. If he stays where he is, he'd get holes. There's not much armor on this thing. The best armor is actually on the front of the turret, and that's only 80mm. Front of the hull is only 50. It's very lightly armed for a light tank. Oh, and that AMX-13-105 took a swing, but the AMX-50B did get a hit for 345. So he's just going to have to stay here for a brief moment. He is a light tank, so he's got light tank qualities, which means he's got the same camo on the move as he has when he's stationary. But he doesn't want to risk another shot from that AMX-50B, so he's being very careful, very cautious indeed. Well, it's got a top speed of 68 kilometers an hour, which means this thing is very fast. It's also very low, which makes it very difficult for the enemy to get their gun to bear on the target. You haven't got much to fire at. It's a very small turret. As you can see, there's only two crew members, the driver and the commander, who's also the gunner. And it's an oscillating turret. That's something I didn't mention actually at the start, but it was a project for an oscillating turret for the British Army. They have had some other projects with oscillating turrets, and it looks like the Arty's over in this direction. He's marking it at the moment. The enemy Arty's a batch at 155, 58 or a GWE-100. But somebody's over there because there's a tracer coming out from that corner. And so he needs to alert his Arty players that that's where the enemy is. Either there to get up there and have a quick look for himself, but he does know that AMX-13-105 is about. We do know a Leopard was seen over here, but it's the wrong place for a Leopard to be, even if they are snipers. When he's going to go up here and see if he can find the Arty, and maybe put them out of the game. Oh, he's got found a Heshbon. Now, they are definitely worth hitting. He's just getting a request to pull back by the 140. He's behind us. He's coming up to the centre line. Now I think the Object 140 wants to come up and join us here, because if there's an enemy Arty, and there is, GWE-100 takes one round, but it doesn't do much in the way of damage, only 83, and now the GWE-100 is trying to press him against the edge of the map, because he wants to get him in front, and now that's one in. That's the kill. So the 140 didn't get the kill, but at least they put one of the Arty out of the game. And he's doing circuits at the moment to try and get the attention of the enemy Arty, firing this direction rather than firing anywhere else. And now the enemy Arty doesn't know where he's headed, so he can move as freely as he likes. But there is a Heshbon up there. There he is. And he's, well, he's looking in our direction, but not directly at us. He was for a brief moment. And now we've been spotted after we fired. Yeah, that big puff of smoke that comes from the gun does kind of give your position away. And the flash, of course. And that Heshbon is getting right royally rogered. And now he's out the game. And that's the spotter badge as well. Okay. Game on. The Object 140 is joining us. No sign of that Leopard though. Now, it's so low that whenever you go through the dragon seat, you do feel it. But he could actually find and kill the enemy Arty if he can spot him. And you've got a Striv 103B there, desperately trying to get back, possibly to protect his cap area. He's actually heading this direction. No, didn't get that one in. So he's down to 13 rounds now, and he was spotted by the Striv. In fact, we found the leopard one as well. The leopard one's directly up ahead of us, and I think he's waiting for us to come into view before he can shoot. Just about there. Yep, nicely into the engine bay for the 381. You can see how Cross the St. George did manage to place that one, and now the batch at 155.58 has also told us where he is. Well, he's at the back of the map. It's what you expect. He's trying to get away from that leopard who is trying to fire at him. So he just needs to get over the other side of this ridge line, and then the leopard can't do anything. In fact, actually, he is coming this way. Oh, look at that. He actually managed to get some spotting assist on the leopard. He didn't actually get a kill or anything, or a direct hit, but the spotting is fairly good. Now he's in front of those dragon's teeth at the moment. They are going to be a bit of a hindrance for him if he has to run forward. And here he comes, the leopard's coming. Now we've got teammates. Oh, that could have cost us. We've got teammates near the entrance to the city who might spot that leopard and take care of him for us. The leopard seems to have stopped, but the enemy Arty is still trying to get us. Now he did damage his tracks, but he's leading that leopard into a kill zone. If that guy keeps coming forward, he will suffer. No, I think he knows that he has to stop, because if he does come forward, then somebody is going to spot him and kill him. The Object 140 is pulled back, so we haven't got anyone to help us kill. Oh, he's coming this way. Here he comes. I saw it there for a brief moment. It looked very, very nasty, and we're trying to fire at him through the dragon's teeth. Oh, good shot! 420 hit points of damage, but it was another shot that hit him at the same time. And the leopard is now down. He's really a one-shot. Here we go. And it's a nice kill. That's a useful kill. So 3 kills now. And he can drive ahead and take out the enemy Arty, because there's basically only the Striv 103B protecting that Arty from being wiped out. And if Cross can actually get in there underneath the ridge lines, the Striv won't see him until it's almost too late for him to do anything about it. A 105mm round should be able to do some damage to that Striv. In fact, the Striv's not there, or at least we can't see him at the moment, which means the batch at 155.58 is unprotected, and there's an oncoming Pascucci's medal if he gets the kill. He's over the ridge line and looking at what's there. There, we just saw the tracer, so we know the batch at 155.58 is in reload. He could have another couple of shells if he's just fired his first one, but if he is in reload, he's in a whole world of trouble. And there we go. Just let this one go in. It's an HE round. One big hit. Didn't get the kill. Oh, and he does have a shell left. Now, under these circumstances, you could sideswipe him, but you just could also load and shoot. And he's doing that. And there's the kill. So he's 4 kills now. And the Pascucci's. There's only 5 enemies left, and well, we've got 8 on our team. He's coming up over the edge. They won't know precisely where he's coming from. There's the Striv. He made a bad decision to abandon that position. I suppose he felt that he had to go into town. And Cross of St. George is highlighting him for Arty to say, please hit that tank. And yes, he's got the side of him, which means now the Striv trying to turn, not helping. And that one went into the tracks. The Striv's desperately trying to avoid it. And oh, we got another enemy tank turned up. And now this is problems. He's trying to flip the guy over, but we've got a Bosch. And look at these 2 tanks trying to kill him. He kills the Striv. Wow, presence of mind or what? Even though he's trying to deal with a Bosch, he kills the Striv. And now he's got the better of the Bosch, because the Bosch can't turn fast enough. And he's pumped another round in. Oh, and the Heshbarn puts one in. And unfortunately, that means that Cross of St. George is out of the game, but 5 kills. That was an epic match, and That end bit where he was trying to deal with 2 tanks simultaneously was, well, that was magnificent. I think the team have got this one. There's only one enemy left. It's the Bosch 155. The Heshbon died. And they're all closing in, shouting, mine, mine, mine. And the Arty gets him. And the game's over. What a great game. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was a first-class tank of a Cross of St. George in the Manticore. He managed to get, this is the first time he's had a first class as well in this one, so he really played his heart out. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, just one short of getting that top gun, and 1/3 of the enemy team. And, well, if he got the Foch, that would have been his 6th kill. Unfortunately, the Heshbon was watching. I'm not sure if that was the same Heshbon that he was firing at earlier in the game. But no, there was 2 Heshbons in the game. He did kill one of them. But no, unfortunately, that Heshbon was able to come back in time to protect his Foch. But unfortunately, it meant the end of Cross of St. George. He also managed to get a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and he got a Pascucci's medal in that one for killing 2 enemy SPGs in one game. His win rate was 7,708, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Okay, well, he wasn't the highest damage in the game. That went to the Heshbon on our team, who managed to get 4,331. Second highest damage went to the enemy 60 TP, who got 4,107. But the third highest damage, whoops, wrong one. Third highest damage did go to Cross of St. George in the Manticore for 3,980. And a very nice score that is too. We can see the Object 140 did a Confederate. The 60 TP on our team got a Spartan. The Batchat 155-58 also picked up a Confederate in that game. And that AMX 50, who did hit him during the game, he also got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else. So I suppose all of them must have actually got the same difference, 6 and 0. So let's have a look at the number of kills. And that definitely went across to St. George. 5 kills for him in a little light tank with a 105mm gun with quite a long reload. The standard reload is 13.42, but obviously Cross of St. George has slightly less than that. 3 kills went to the 60 TP, 2 kills went to the Object 140 on his own team, and the 60 TP on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, yep, he got that one with 1,157, the second highest being the 60 TP, and the third highest being the Object 140. And those are the only 3 players who managed to get over 1,000 base in that game. So 2 out of 3, and narrowly missed out on the other one. Well, narrowly. Close. Close, but didn't get it. Anyway, let's have a look at the detail. He fired 17 rounds, so he only had 3 rounds left at the end of the game, and he did use both of the HE rounds to kill the Batchat 155-58. He got 14 direct hits on the enemy, 12 penetrations, also got 1 splash with the HE round, 3,980 hit points of damage, of which 2,336 were at more than 300 meters. It's a fairly good long-range shooter, actually, this tank. If you can get the aim right, you saw that he was actually putting rounds into that Heshbon, not a problem, and also the Leopard at long range. 3 hits received from the enemy. Again, the armor is negligible. You'll see that in the armor profile very shortly. He did get 1 penetration and 3 hits by way of splash damage from the Batchat, who was desperate to stop him, once when he was in the field, and the second time was when he got up and close and personal. 3 enemy vehicles were spotted, 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 5 killed, 2,841 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 42,874 credits on a free-to-play account, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, took away a profit of 2,504. He got 7 bonds for this being a tier 10 vehicle, and 1,157 base XP, and no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. So let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this beast. There you go, got it up. And you can see that, yes, well, I said it's light armored. 50mm at the front is the strongest armor, coming out at 53 with a slight bend back. The upper plate, well, it's over the engine deck actually, That's 20mm thick, coming out at 24. Lower plate here is 40mm, coming out at 52. You've got some fairly good armor on the turret, 85mm at the front there, and you can see it's kind of distributed over the top of the turret. Slightly lower down where it's well angled, it's 45mm coming out at basically 56. So the armor gets less the lower down you get. But remember, this is a very low vehicle, so it's very difficult for the enemy to see it, let alone hit the right spot. If you look at the sides of the vehicle, 30mm. Yes, if the shell goes between the tracks, it's going to go straight through. And the rear, well, or the top deck, you should say, is 20mm on that one. Top of the turret is 10mm. And top of this part where the ammo, I think is where the ammo is stored, only 10mm. So Arty shouldn't have any trouble trying to penetrate one of these, or at least get a nice splash or hit on them. And remember, it's only 2 crew, so it's going to be fairly easy for you to knock out a crew member as well. If you look at the live map, you can see, yeah, it's very porous. Any 105mm round hitting this is going to go through. In fact, any 75mm round is more than likely going to penetrate. Wargaming has provided us with a module map, so we do know where everything is. The engine is up front, and the transmission is directly in front of that, driving the front wheels. We've got the driver on the right-hand side with those viewports, and on the left-hand side, we've got the tank commander, who's also the gunner. Radio is in the back of the bustle, so there's no ammo rack for you to aim at in the bustle. In fact, the ammo rack is way down here in the back of the vehicle with the fuel tank. So there's kind of an ammo rack there, one underneath the fuel tank on the other side, and it's kind of odd places to put the vehicle, put them in the tanks. I would have thought the fuel tank should have been up front, right next door to the engine, to enable the fuel to go straight into the engine quickly and easily. But there must be pipes that are feeding the fuel through, just as the crew. Well, the commander's probably picking the shells out of the rack behind him and then shoving them straight into the breech and then aiming the thing. It's not a tank that actually got put into production. It was a tank that was designed in 1955, for that matter, but it just didn't actually get put into production at all. So, but it is an interesting autoloader, and some people actually like the Manticore a lot. They think it's a great fun tank to play. The only trouble is that short ammo. Only 20 rounds. You can't do a lot of damage with 20 rounds, and you have to be careful you don't blow your ammo without getting any damage for it. But yeah, it's a good tank. So I did say that there is more replays to come. It's a group game for Cross of St. George, but you'll see some epic battles if you continue to watch our channel, because I've got a whole bunch of replays coming from Baseman from Hell. In fact, I had them in nearly half a year ago. I'm ashamed to say that, really. I've had them for a long time, and I haven't got around to doing them, mainly because I just had too many of them at the same time. But I'm going to make the time to actually put those ones through so that the Baseman can enjoy those light tank games again. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like, do subscribe to our channel, and leave a little comment down below, because it feeds the algorithm, gets the video noticed so more people can see it. And thank you for watching.